Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is another episode of English Chitchat ฝึกฟังภาษาอังกฤษ 90% where I speak 90% in English so you can practice listening and interacting in English here only at ฝรั่งอังมอสวัสดีค่ะ one second let oh okay hi Great to see you as usual. It's another week, another English chit chat here. And we are now live both on Facebook and on YouTube. Yay! This is me kind of like boosting the energy for today. Hi. Sawadee Ready for interesting discussion today?So for every episode of English Chit Chat, you and me, we are going to temporarily forget all the fear of making mistakes and just trying to use English because I myself always make some mistakes. So English Chit Chat is number one for me. Yeah, for me to get over my fear of making mistakes and hopefully it can help you get over your fear as well and to see that we can talk, we can communicate, we can understand each other just fine. Hi. Hello. My eyes are like it's going to sleep. Hello คุณ Vang Chang Kong, right? คุณน้ำหวานเหรอคะคุณน้ำหวานสวัสดีค่ะคุณสินสืบพรอาทิตย์ฮัลโหลสวัสดีค่ะคุณอามินาน่ารักมากคุณอามินาสวัสดีค่ะฮัลโหลสวัสดีค่ะฮัลโหล It's been a while it's been a long while okay so yeah.Today, let's talk about conversation. I think it's an interesting topic for many of us, including myself. I think it's something that it's good to know because conversation in English, conversation in Thai, conversation in Japanese, conversation in different languages might be different. Not just the language, but the culture that comes with it. It's gonna be interesting. Hello คุณโยทินสวัสดีค่ะคุณจุไรวันสวัสดีค่ะคุณ The Countryman hello คุณขัว right ขัวคุณไปทันคุณพงระพีสวัสดีค่ะคุณนัทธนิต hello good evening okay All right, great to see you as usual. Now, let's do a warm-up question. Yeah, warm-up question. If you have been a regular here in any episode of the English Chit Chat, you know that we usually have a warm-up question. Oh, no, not this one. No. The question that I would love to ask you first before we start the discussion is, what do you usually ask people that you just met? People you just met? Oh, sorry. That was a wrong grammar. What do you usually ask people you just met? For example, if we meet in person or maybe online for the first time, what is you ask the person? Share. Let's share.Oh, watching from Laos. Hi, สบายดี looking forward to have a big smile. Is it big enough? Okay. Come back after past heavy heart last week. You were having a tough time. Let's boost the energy.What do you usually ask the people you just met? Or maybe if you and me, we meet for the first time, we don't know each other, what do you usually ask? interesting คุณธัญวดี You're so beautiful. You're so beautiful. Oh, my heart is beating fast. What's your name? Yes. So what's your name is the very first question. Hi, hello, what's your name, right? Can you speak Thai? That's a good one. Can you speak Thai? อ๋อพูดได้ครับ โอเคนั้นพูดภาษาไทยละกัน How are you? That's right. How are you could be greetings as well. Hello, how are you? Could be saying hi as well, right? Ooh, what is your name? Yeah, where are you going? What are you doing? Means currently right now or in general. What do you do? Right? Is it what do you do? คือทำงานอะไรทำอะไรใช่ไหมคะ What do you do? คุณ Joe said how do you do? How do you do? It's like how are you but more formal, right? Anything else? How are you doing? That's cool.Hello, what's your name? Okay. That is right. I think, I don't know if I usually ask. Yeah, but it's something that you can ask, especially if you know this person is definitely foreigners from different countries. So you ask where you're from. Yeah, where are you from? ไม่มี where are you come from ไม่มีนะคะเป็น where are you from คือมาจากที่ไหนเนาะเป็นคนที่ไหนเนาะ Oopsie how was your day absolutely how was your day hey how was your day have you ever been to Thailand that's a good one how about if they're already in Thailand like traveling interesting nice to meet you nice to see you where you're from are you single yeah okay I mean can you ask the first question when you just met someone are you single we're going to talk about that what's your name how old are you where you're from what you're doing okay interesting how's it going you're good how do I call you right how do I call you or what's your name where are you from I really like this one what brings you here is kind of like maybe you meet at an event or something and then you want to ask so what brought you here or what brings you here to downtown of the city or something like that yeah what's up how long have you been here how long have you stayed in this place right I like this one do you like Thai food absolutely I don't think anybody hates Thai food that can be that nobody can hate Thai food right do you miss me you just meet someone for the first time do you miss me okay how do you find Thailand this is good one I like this I thought that this question was how do you find Thailand คือหา Thailand เจอได้ยังไงไม่ใช่นะ how do you find Thailand is like how do you like Thailand how are you enjoying the country the people the culture so far right okay all right now what is interesting is that today's topic I would love to share and discuss with you an interesting topic about what kinds of questions we should ask or we should not ask mainly what we should not ask now let me be clear it depends on the culture it depends on the culture some questions in some culture it's okay to ask it's totally okay to ask because in that culture it's not rude it's not impolite it's all right people say that people ask that but the questions that eight questions that we are going to talk about today is it's something that usually in the Western world especially English speaking countries we don't really ask this or it could be impolite it could be rude doesn't mean that no one in the Western world asks this at all doesn't mean that no one asks this at all I think there's still people that ask this kind of question but it could sound the questions that we're going to talk about it could sound really intrusive what is intrusive แปลว่าอะไรคะ what does it mean intrusive interesting one intrusive โอ้ตาจะปิด intrusive. I think if you were to search in a dictionary ถ้าหาในพจนานุกรรมแปลไทยน่าจะแปลว่าที่ล่วงล้ำที่ลุกล้ำที่ก้าวก่ายที่น่ารำคาญ or something like that. Something that it's intrude. Intrude is like you get into someone's privacy, someone's personal space and personal business. So intrusive is something that you get into something that it's not really your business and it's something personal to the other person. So that is the questions that could be intrusive. I mean, you can ask these questions, these 8 questions we're going to talk about today, but you need to be I don't know, it depends on the person, but if you're like, oh, we're best friend forever, maybe you can talk about this stuff, or if you're really close, then maybe it's another story, but in general, we try not to ask these kind of questions. Some of the questions that we're going to talk about today, I didn't even know before that it was rude because it was normal to ask this in Thailand or in some Asian culture, and I wish someone told me sooner not to ask this in the Western culture. Yeah. So before we start looking at the 8 questions, I want to learn more from you. What do you think before we review? Yeah. An example of a rude question to ask in the Western world, especially English-speaking countries. Any example that you could think of? I think you're going to have a lot of these. That's right. You could say that. Yes. I think that's a word. Yay! La lab la luang. You invade someone's personal business and space. It's not really your thing to ask. Kun UEC English. Very interesting. This I didn't know before. And I went to the States. I asked someone, so how old are you? I wish someone told me sooner. Yes, we're going to talk about that as well. Do you remember me? It's not intrusive, but it makes you awkward. Yeah. I don't know how to respond to that question. I'll be like, yeah. Kun. How old are you? Yeah. How much do you earn? เงินเดือนเท่าไหร่ How much do you earn? How much is your salary? How much is your monthly pay, right? How much is your salary? Exactly. About salary. And I think sometimes in many Asian culture, it's okay to ask that. And I didn't know, right? Oh, yes. คุณธนวดีใช่ไหมคะโอ้หยุดมองไม่ได้เลย Okay. Do you think you like a man or women? Do you like a man or women? What is your sexual orientation or something like that, right? Yeah. Oh, relationship. Yeah. The body size or weight. How much do you weigh? เอ้ยนี่ทุกคนแทบจะได้หมดแล้วเนี่ย Are you married? Ask about gender could be very sensitive topic as well. Woo, you guys are really good.Okay, let's take a look at this article together. So I have read an article. I think it's interesting. And I think you guys would have some ideas about this already. So we're going to unpack this together and discuss at the end where you can share your opinions and we can talk about it. So make sure to stay at the end so we can discuss it together.All right, so this is an article called 8 Intrusive Questions to Never Ask Anyone and Why by the Isles of Life. Ooh, okay. Now, before we read the article together, please note that now I think a lot of the words said here, it's not a formal article, it's not a research article, it's a very opinion-based writing.The readings that we're going to read today. So there's no rules. Yeah. When it comes to culture, there's no rule saying it's a no. It's a yes. Yeah. So all the things that we are going to read today, it's someone's opinion. So on what's rude or not rude. So take it with a grain of salt. Yeah, take it with a grain of salt. แปลว่าอะไรคะคือหยิบมานิดๆหน่อยๆ Some of the things, of course, it makes sense. Of course, you might agree with it. Some of the things might be someone's opinion. So take it with a grain of salt. You don't have to believe 100%. Yeah, maybe it works in some context. Maybe it works with some people. So knowing that what we're going to read now, it's someone's point of view. It's an interesting point of view, but it's not a fact. Yeah, there's no set in stone rules. It's not a fact. There's difference between opinion and fact. What we're going to read today are opinions, but it's interesting one. Okay? All right. Let's read together. These are 8 intrusive questions to never ask anyone and why. Okay, let's read. Almost everyone has had the unfortunate experience of being asked intrusive questions, right? Something that, this is so personal. I don't want to answer this about their life. This is because humans are innately curious creatures. เราเป็นคนขี้สงสัย เราเป็นมีชีวิตที่สงสัยไปหมด and they feel the need to know what's going on in each other's life นั่นก็คือเป็นการบอกว่าเรานั้นเป็นสิ่งมีชีวิตที่อยากรู้เรื่องของชาวบ้านรวมถึงดิฉันเนี่ยแหละค่ะตัวดีเลย Asking questions is one way we get to know and understand the people we interact with. However, some of the questions people ask, even when they have no malicious intent. อันนี้เป็นคำที่น่าสนใจค่ะ malicious is like bad. Yeah. Intent ความตั้งใจก็คือไม่ได้ตั้งใจจะแบบอะไรเลวร้ายหรอกไม่ได้ตั้งใจจะทำร้ายหรือไม่ตั้งใจจะแบบ we didn't want to be rude. Nobody wants to, but it could intrude into someone's privacy or hurt them. Yeah, it could intrude, mean it's somebody else's business and you just got into the privacy thing. Yeah, for this reason, it's important to know the intrusive questions you should not ask people because they might embarrass them or make them feel uncomfortable. So in this post, we discuss some examples of intrusive questions to never ask anyone and why you shouldn't. The first thing is why are you still single? ทำไมยังโสดอยู่ Why are you still single? I'm not sure about Asian culture if it's rude. Do you think it's rude to ask that in Asian culture, in Thai culture? I don't know. Yeah, but in the Western world and from the writer's perspective, it's kind of like people at a certain age, people begin to snoop into your love life. And if you're single, they question why, but asking someone's relationship status could be rude, right? Especially if it's just like, oh, we just met and like, oh, well, why are you still single? Something like that, yeah. So they should have the freedom to choose when and if they want to be in a relationship without the pressure to be in one because of nosy people. โอ้แรงมาก So the first one is why are you still single? ทำไมยังโสดอยู่นะคะ The second question is why aren't you married yet? Why aren't you married yet? Why aren't you married yet? I think a lot of people in the 20s and the 30s are probably more in 30s experience this a lot. Okay. So a person or couple's reasons for not getting married are their own private business, and they shouldn't feel unnecessary pressure because it could be a pressure, right, to get married if they're not ready yet. So it can strain their relationship if they don't know how to answer this question or if one or both are not ready for the step. So the decision whether to get married or not isn't a light one. คือการตัดสินใจว่าจะแต่งงานหรือไม่เนี่ยมันไม่ใช่อะไรเรื่องอะไรเบาๆง่ายๆเนาะ and shouldn't be made under pressure or just because others expect it. Okay, so that is question number 2. Question number 3. When are you going to have a baby? Or when are you going to have another baby? Okay, so let's say you're not single anymore. You're now married. And then another thing that people often ask, okay, that's nice. You're in relationship. Okay, now you're already married. But something that people could ask and probably get asked is, for starters, it's whether or not you're having a baby or another baby or more babies, right? So for starters, a couple might not be ready to have kids yet for their own reasons, and asking them makes them feel like they have to explain or made up excuses for not having children. ก็คือถ้าเกิดเขาตัดสินใจว่าไม่มีแล้วเราถามว่าทำไมไม่มีลูกอีกทำไมไม่มี or something like that. It could be a pressure, right? So this question can also be hurtful to some because it might not be their choice not have kids. Yeah. So some people it's not that they don't want to have kids or children. So asking them is kind of like, I don't know, rude. Yeah, something like that. Okay. Or it could be their choice as well. Oh, we have decided that we don't want kids and something like that. That could also be rude because it's their personal or it's their decisions to do so, right? All right. Another thing that I think personally, in Thailand, it seems really, we were just having a conversation with Kru Rosie the other day. I mean, for quite a while ago, but it was a very interesting thing. She didn't get offended that people ask like about appearances, but it was surprising to her when she first came in Thailand, and then people asking like, did you gain weight? Did you lose weight? All these things, which is not very that common in the UK where she lived. But coming to Thailand and get asked this a lot, it's kind of surprising to her. What are the questions about weight or body that you get asked a lot? Can you maybe share? Can anyone share? If asked about baby, it could, I mean, it's pressure somehow, right? Appearances. Yes. Yeah. Kaptan said, oh, why you're so thin, or why you're so like, did you gain weight or something like that? What are the questions that you get asked about appearances? For example, this one, they said, น้ำหนักเท่าไหร่ how much do you weigh? Have you lost weight? Which could be in Thai culture and in Asian culture. Wow, have you lost weight? You look better. You look more slim or something like that. It's normal in some culture, but in the Western world, maybe not so, right? Why are you not losing weight? ทำไมไม่ลดน้ำหนัก if it's for the people that you love and you're really close, then it's another story. But for just people you just met and you're not that close, it can be really rude, right? Weight is a sensitive topic for a lot of people. The above are some intrusive questions to never ask anyone about their weight because it can affect their body image and cause insecurities and self-esteem issues. เขาอาจจะกังวลอยู่ก็ได้ Maybe they're self-conscious about how they look, their weight. Some people might have troubles losing weight or something like that as well, or gaining weight or something like that as well. So maybe it's best not to touch on that. But if you're like, oh, let's try this too, this is like a healthy choice or something like that, that's another story. But pointing out the weight could be a little sensitive. Oh yes, exactly. ไปทำอะไรมาอ้วนขึ้นนะ It's something that I think as a Thai person we get asked a lot, and I'll be like, กินเยอะค่ะ ไม่มีอะไรจะแก้ตัว but in the Western world it could be really, really rude. I mean, in general, I think it's personally I'm okay with it, but for many people out there, I don't think it's very nice to ask this, right? Okay. Now, the next question, the fifth one is, are you self-conscious about blah, blah, blah? What is self-conscious? Do you know what self-conscious is? one second self-conscious แปลว่าอะไรคะ I don't even know do you know the translation in Thai รู้จักคำนี้ไหมคะ self-conscious conscious is when you put a lot of your focus, your energy, you're worried. Yeah, you're worried about that. And when self-conscious is usually something that you feel insecure about yourself. Yeah, it can be how you look, it can be how you, I don't know, smell, or it can be the way and anything. Yeah, it can be anything that you feel worried, you feel insecure. Yeah, you feel insecure about yourself. For example, I'm self-conscious about my acne.Yeah, I got pimples and I was like, oh, I'm so self-conscious about that. I say that, yeah. Oh, I'm self-conscious about this thing. Now, the question of self-conscious, anybody knows? Yeah, could be กังวลรู้สึกไม่มั่นใจดีกว่าไม่มั่นใจเกี่ยวกับรู้สึกไม่มั่นใจเกี่ยวกับเรื่องเนี้ยมันทำให้เราเรื่องเนี้ยทำให้เราไม่มั่นใจ usually it's the appearances yeah usually it's appearances so self-conscious is when you feel insecure about certain parts of your body yeah so let's see okay so are you self-conscious about แบบรู้สึกกังวลเรื่องนี้ไหม you point out a physical feature of that person it's likeเป็นปมหรือแบบรู้สึกแบบอุ้ยด้อยหรือรู้สึกกังวลหรือรู้สึกแบบไม่มั่นใจในเรื่องนี้ไหม something like that so you don't ask the people that so if you want someone to feel self-conscious about something ask them if they are self-conscious about it คือจริงๆตอนแรกก็อาจจะไม่กังวลอะแต่พอบอกอุ้ยดูสิเธออ้วนเธอดูสิเธอนู่นนี่นั่น then it could make them feel bad about it oh do I need to feel insecure about it right so sometimes it's feel like oh you're concerned about that person but it can make a person feel anxious insecure and also lower the self-esteem as well so if you're not self-conscious about whatever they're asking about before you're sure now because they make you think you should be มันพอดึงออกมาพูดโอ๊ยไม่กังวลเรื่องนี้หรอไม่รู้สึกว่ามันเป็นปมหรอตอนนี้ต้องกังวลไหมเนี่ย right so some things you should never ask people if they're self-conscious about include the aspects of their appearance เนาะแบบรูปร่างหน้าตานะคะ the accent ก็ด้วยเหมือนกันเนาะ body shape รูปร่างเนาะ weight as well เขาเรียกอะไรนะน้ำหนัก right all right another thing that I think you all have already mentioned is how much money do you make or how much money do you have it's okay if you're really close or if you're helping that person or if it's your best friend forever something like that it's all right but normally in a general conversation with just people in your life you don't just go and ask people so how much money do you earn how much is your salary something like that right I think my teacher who is Spanish she told me when she was living she came to live in Thailand for about like a few months and I think she got in a car or something with someone she's just a taxi driver or something or maybe just people and then she was asked like how much is the salary of a teacher or as a lecturer in Mahidol Mahidol University I already mentioned it Mahidol University and she was really surprised as a Westerner European they don't ask this right but Thai people sometimes it depends on the person they just ask right out แล้วเงินดีไหมเงินเดือนเท่าไหร่ or something like that it's not very common to ask that in the Western world or maybe in Thailand these days as well yeah so it's like so yeah don't other people's finances are probably not other people's concern so asking about someone's income or how they spend money is quite intrusive right so don't ask people about their income unless you're asking in order to give them a better job so let's say if you are really close and this person you want to give them a better job or something like that or you're offering a job and you're really close you're family members maybe that's okay but in general we don't ask or how much they paid or spend on something not really we don't ask that right Okay, another thing that I think in Thai culture do we ask? I'm not sure, but it's interesting point to see. So it's about intimate details of other people's love life. And that seems to be a hot topic for many people. Like, oh, we don't want to know how like their sexual orientation, their love affairs with people, all these things. It seems like it's a hot topic for people to know. So something like how good is he or she in bed in terms of that, and how many people have you slept with, or why do you love him, why do you love her, are you gay, what is your gender, what's your sexual orientation, do you like guys or do you like girls, all these things. So it's not exactly really polite, it's not very nice to go into the details of that because it's their private lives, right? Everyone has a right to love whoever they love, and they shouldn't make them question their judgment and decision to love who they love. Oh, yeah. So that is another intrusive kind of question. Last but not least is how old are you? Why is how old are you rude to ask? This is very interesting. The last question is really interesting because in Thai culture, we ask that one of the first questions we meet someone, right? คือในไทยด้วยความที่มันมีพี่มีน้องต้องเรียกพี่หรือต้องเรียกน้อง so one of the first question that I and many people ask is how old are you, and I didn't know this because it was really normal for us to ask like this so that we know like there's a seniority in Thai culture, in Asian culture, but I went to the States, and then I think I asked someone that I just met. I asked, how old are you? And then good thing is that someone kind of told me later that, you know, in the States or in the Western culture, you don't really ask how old someone is or what's their age. And then I just realized, oh no. But that got me learning about, okay, there are certain questions that it's normal to ask in Thailand, but it's not so common to ask in other countries or other states. Why we don't ask about the age in the Western world? Why not? Why can't we just know someone's age? It's just a fact, right? How old are you? อายุเท่าไหร่? It seems normal. Let's see the what the article has to say. Sorry. One second. Oopsie. Why is it rude? Okay. โหดมาก so yeah. So it's okay if it's like a legal reason, so you need to know the personal information, or you need when someone is driving or buying alcohol or all these things. Otherwise, people don't really ask the age, right? How old are you? The articles or the writer said that because it could make someone feel like they're being judged for how old they are or how old they look. So it could be that it makes them feel like, oh, self-conscious, like, why do I look old, or do I blah, 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 or I'm not successful at my age, or something like that. Another reasons why this is one of the intrusive questions is that it can make them feel like you're trying to measure their accomplishment against their age. Oh, if you're 25, you need to have this completed, you need to have a house, you need to get married, or if you're 30, you need to have a stable job, all these things, right? So it's the thing with the culture is that because in the Western culture, they don't really prioritize or give so much importance to how old someone is. There's no such thing as seniority. We don't have P, we don't have Nong in the Western world, right? More predominantly in Asian culture, where there's like oppa, oni, or something like that. That's still Asian culture, or I don't know, in Chinese, or something, right? Or something like that. Yeah. So that is for in Asian culture. That's why we kind of want to know the age. But in the Western world, it's kind of like very, you can be friend with someone who is like 30 years older than you, and you still call each other a friend, right? So that's why we don't usually ask for someone's age unless there's something that you need to know in order for legal reasons for buying alcohol drinks or all these things. Yeah? Okay? All right. Now, this is a good one. Why shouldn't we ask people about their age? I didn't really understood this until I made a mistake, because people are sensitive to compliments that are related to appearance and age. Oh, interesting. Okay. All right. Now, since we already learned, but once again, what I would like to suggest here again is that these are some ideas and someone's opinions. Of course, there's no set of rules saying, no, cannot at all. In some context, it might work. In some other, maybe not. Yeah, so of course, it's good to learn the culture while you learn the language. Right? It's good to learn about the culture as well. Oh, so this is what they feel like it's rude. This is what they feel like it's nice to say, all these things. So while you learn a language, it's good to always know the culture as well. Yeah. But all in all, I don't want this to be something that makes you feel afraid to have a good conversation with people. So what we're going to discuss next, this is discussion time. Let's talk about some questions that you think we should ask or we can ask to get to know someone better. Let's say if you get to meet international friends or people or foreigners for the first time, for the second time, and you're trying to make friends, wanting to get to know someone better, what would be the questions that you like to ask? Let me know. Let's talk. I know, right? คุณชิบะ ขาว said, and this is like the very first question that we learn, and we learn from the Thai culture, and that is why it's nice to always know the culture along with the context, especially. So if you watch movies, series, or YouTube videos, you don't really come across someone meeting for the first time speaking English and asking how old are you, right? You don't really hear that. So if you learn from the context, you understand that, oh, that's not what people usually say. And I also have been educated in Thai school, and that's what we learn. And that's sad. I didn't know that. Okay, that's good. What are you doing for now? Okay, what do you do, right? What do you do? Or what are you working on right now? Yeah, what are you working on? How have you been? How have you been is usually when you haven't seen each other for a while. Yeah, you met each other once, and then you didn't see each other for a while. You haven't seen each other for a while, and then you meet again. So how have you been means since then that we last met until now, how have you been? Yeah. Kun Kanawadi said, what do you do in your free time? That's a good one. What do you do in your free time, or what you like to do during your free time? Something like that. That's good. Anything else? The questions that you ask to get to know someone better. Maybe simple questions, or it could be deep questions as well. How's it going? So how is it going? How's it going is like, how to say, in general, like how are you, right? How are you? P. Woody, what would you like to eat next? We're all foodies. Yes, let's order more. Okay. Oh, I like this one. Kun Vin said, I always give a compliment instead of asking a question. What kind of compliments do you usually give? I would love to know. Oh, I like this. We're all food lovers. Kun Atitaya Bojang ask, what kind of food do you like? What kind of food do you like? That's going to be really difficult for me to answer because I like everything. Yeah, that's a good one. Because when you meet someone and you're not that close with someone yet, you want to keep the questions a little general, not too like, what is your deepest fear? Something like that. You don't go into that deep kind of question. Or maybe you could, but in general, you go food, hobbies, interests, all these things, right? Where do you live? This is interesting but tricky as well. Because where do you live? I might just say, where are you based? Where are you based? Where are you currently based? So maybe I usually ask, so are you based in Bangkok? Yeah. So maybe met a new friend and you can ask, so are you based in Bangkok? It's kind of like, it in Thai it's like ประจำอยู่ที่ไหน but it could be more less personal and more general to me. Yeah. What is your favorite movie? That's a good one. That's a good one. I'll be like Marvel. Okay. Okay. Hey, Peter! I miss you so much. I can't explain this in words, but I miss you so much. I don't know from the where. Okay, yes. What's your plan for this long weekend? What's your plan? Do you have any plans for the weekend? Right? Okay. What kind of song do you like to listen to? That's a good one. Can we ask about religion? I've never tried. I think it depends on the context of the conversation. Are you going deep conversation with a person or you just casually know each other? If you just casually know each other and the whole environment of the whole conversation is really light, then going, so what's your religion could be like so yeah, but if you're already in a deep kind of conversation, you're talking about beliefs, values, then maybe it would fit the context. What kind of music do you like? That's a good one. What's your favorite country? Oh, interesting. I usually ask like, have you been to this country? Or where would you like to go? What are the countries on your bucket list or something like that if they're traveling? Yeah. What song are you listening to? Okay. Oh, interesting one, Kunjo. How do you like the steak? Talking about the food, if you go out and you have meal, yeah, enjoy good food together, then maybe you ask about the food. How do you like steak? Well done, medium rare, all these things, or what kind of, I don't even know, side dishes do you prefer or something like that. How much I love you. Ooh, in a general conversation. Ooh, very deep. Miss you too, Megan. I need to process, sorry. How are things going? Do you like traveling? What's your favorite song? Who is your favorite artist? That's a good one. In Thailand, I think if someone travels and it's like international visitors or friends visiting me in Thailand or we are hanging out, then I usually ask, have you tried this food? Have you been to this place? Sort of like, because their purpose of being in Thailand is to travel, let's say, then I would usually bring up the things that they are currently onto. Yeah. For example, if they're traveling, they're having a leisure trip in Thailand, then I ask, have you tried mango and sticky rice? Something like that. Or have you been to Phuket or all these things? Or have you checked out that place or something like that? that could be something that gets them that it would be interesting, the question that would be interesting for them as well. Yeah. Maybe have you ever been in Thailand? That's a good. Have you ever been to Thailand? Or have you ever been in Thailand? Yeah. Have you tried Thai food before? That's a good one. That's a really good one. Okay. All right. I think we have great conversation. Discussion today. I hope that this is kind of thought-provoking or not for us to really learn about the culture. But I think the bottom line here, the takeaway point here is that when you learn a language and you learn to engage in a conversation, if we learn, what's that called? By the book? Yeah, if we take everything by the book, and I think that's how we learn in school somehow, that we learn from the textbooks, and there's nothing wrong with that, but it's not enough to really engage in real life conversation. So it would be nice for us to learn with the context of the culture. Yeah, we see how people use it, we understand from the context or the situation that they use it, from movies, from music, from YouTube videos, from getting to know new friends, and then we try to use it with the context. For example, understanding why people don't ask about weight, about appearances, about age, about relationship status or marital status, all these things, because it's really tied into the culture that what it is polite to say, to ask, and what is might not be the best thing to ask. Okay? All right. Now, if you would like to learn with us, and what we're trying to do in every course is that we try to stress the importance of the purpose of language is to communicate. จุดประสงค์หลักของการใช้ภาษาเนี่ยมันไม่ใช่แค่การท่องจำเพื่อให้จำให้ได้เป๊ะแล้วก็พูดออกมาให้เป๊ะทุกคำแต่มันคือการสื่อสารให้ได้อย่างมีประสิทธิภาพมากที่สุดเข้าใจซึ่งกันและกันมากที่สุดแล้วก็ you can get your message across ทำยังไงให้สารเราไปถึงเขาได้ดีมากที่สุดมีประสิทธิภาพมากที่สุด That should be the main priority, and that's what we usually talk in our courses สำหรับใครที่อยากมาเรียนภาษาอังกฤษด้วยกันกับเรา up skill จริงจังกันไปเลยนะคะก็จะมีคอร์สต่างๆสำหรับ beginner levels, intermediate levels, advanced level. Yeah. For beginners, if you are starting to learn English, you want to start the journey I wouldn't say from scratch, but yeah, from the very beginning สำหรับใครที่อยากจะปูพื้นฐานเลยนะคะเราก็มีพูดฝรั่งได้ดังเสกอันนี้จะปูพื้นฐานรวมทุกอย่างที่ต้องรู้เพื่อให้เราสามารถสื่อสารได้อย่างมั่นใจอันนี้จะเหมาะมากๆสำหรับคนที่ยังไม่มั่นใจอยากที่จะปูพื้นฐานแล้วก็รู้ทุกเรื่องแบบเปิดกว้างทุกเรื่องเลยตั้งแต่การสร้างความมั่นใจการออกเสียงประโยคสำเร็จรูปประโยคจำเป็นการโต้ตอบ all these things วิธีฝึกภาษาในชีวิตประจำวัน all literally everything little here and there but if you want to go specific into conversation นะคะจะมี conversation สนทนาลื่นไหลมั่นใจ100%นะคะอันนี้ก็จะเป็นคอร์สที่เน้นเรื่องของการสนทนาโต้ตอบให้มันดูลื่นไหลเป็นธรรมชาติซึ่งเราก็จะสอนในเรื่องของวัฒนธรรมเข้าไปด้วยว่าทำไมเขาถึงพูดแบบนี้ทำไมเขาถึงใช้แบบนี้เข้าไปด้วยนะคะให้ทุกคนเข้าใจบริบทในการใช้งานมากยิ่งขึ้นนะคะ pronunciation พูดเหมือนเด็กออกเสียงเป๊ะเวอร์อันนี้จะเน้นเรื่องของการสื่อสารพูดออกเสียงยังไงให้มั่นใจให้ถูกต้องแล้วก็เขาเข้าใจเราได้ง่ายมากที่สุดแล้วเราก็พูดได้อย่างมั่นใจมากที่สุดมากยิ่งขึ้นนะคะ think in English คิดเป็นภาษาอังกฤษพูดได้คล่องไม่ต้องท่องจำอันนี้จะเน้นเรื่องของวิธีการฝึกยังไงให้มันเข้าสมองมากที่สุดให้เรียนไปแล้วอะไรก็จำได้ใช้เป็นพูดคล่องมากยิ่งขึ้นเน้นเรื่องวิธีการฝึกโดยเฉพาะนะคะ and then for intermediate level for those who feel like I don't need basic conversation anymore I know how to get around I know how to use English but I want to be able to upgrade my English for professional career development อยากที่จะแบบ up skill ภาษาสำหรับการทำงานให้มันโปรมากยิ่งขึ้นนะคะก็จะมี English for career development นะคะก็จะมี email writing job interview business meeting giving feedback presentation conversation at work professionally and conversation in daily lives are two different things. It's not exactly 100% the same thing นะคะเพราะฉะนั้นบทสนทนาที่มีในที่ทำงานก็แบบหนึ่งบทสนทนาที่มีในชีวิตประจำวันหรือไปเที่ยวทั่วไปก็อีกแบบหนึ่งนะเพราะฉะนั้นก็จะเนื้อหาแตกต่างกันนะคะ English for career development for those who need English for their career yeah speak brilliantly excel at public speaking and presentation in English this goes specific in for those who need to present in English or to speak in English in front of a lot of people customers partners boss team in English and you need to be able to present confidently this is your go-to course and teach English is cool อันนี้จะเป็นคอร์สที่สำหรับคนที่อยากสอนภาษาอังกฤษออนไลน์เป็นติวเตอร์หรือว่าอยากที่จะเอาไปสอนก็มีคุณแม่มาโรงเรียนเหมือนกันหรือจะมีคนที่for those who want to teach as a side hustle that's where we how to say we have a library of the know-how, the experience, the resources, the tips, the techniques, all these things that you need in order to teach online is already in Teach English It's Cool นะคะสำหรับคอร์สของเราใครที่โรงเรียนตอนนี้อย่าลืมไปใช้ส่วนลด300 บาทสำหรับคอร์สแรกกันด้วยนะคะเรามีnew member gift ให้นะคะสำหรับใครที่เข้าไปที่ www.farangangmo.com let me show you if you go to farangangmo.com right here you will and then you go สมัครสมาชิกyou go ลงทะเบียน right here and then you sign up like you're using your email or Facebook account and then once you're signed up there's going to be an email sent to your email inbox and then you will receive a code XYZ something and then you copy that code when you are going to enroll in a course ตอนที่แบบว่าเราจะสมัครเรียนคอร์สนะคะพอลงทะเบียนเสร็จปุ๊บเนี่ยมันจะมีอีเมลส่งไปให้แล้วเราก็ copy โค้ดอันนั้นมาใช้เป็นคูปองส่วนลดได้300 บาททันทีเลยสำหรับคอร์สแรกที่เราลงเรียนนะคะแล้วก็ก่อนที่จะลงเรียนอยากให้ทุกคนลองไปทดลองเรียนฟรีกันก่อนนะคะถ้าเป็นไปได้เพราะว่าจะได้มั่นใจว่าเนี่ยคอร์สนี้เป็นคอร์สที่เหมาะกับเราเป็นคอร์สที่เราอยากได้เนื้อหาประมาณนี้นะคะก็จะช่วยให้เรามั่นใจว่าอยากเรียนแบบนี้แหละเนื้อหาแบบนี้ก็สามารถเข้าไปกดดูได้เลยสมมุติว่าเข้าไปดูสมมตินะลองเรียนพูดฝรั่งได้ดังเสกนะกดเข้าไปที่คอร์สพูดฝรั่งได้ดังเสกมันจะมีตรงนี้ตัวสีเขียวๆนี่เขียวๆ and then we click in there and we can watch this for free yeah we can watch this for free so you can click play and I think each course สำหรับแต่ละคอร์สมันจะมี lesson ที่เราดูได้ฟรี 4-5 บทเรียนอยู่แล้วนะคะทุกคนสามารถไปเรียนฟรีก่อนได้เลยไปเรียนฟรีให้จุใจก่อนแล้วค่อยตัดสินใจว่าเราเหมาะกับคอร์สไหนได้เลยนะคะ if you're not sure which course to take am I beginner or am I intermediate I want to learn English from the very start but then I want to learn for my job as well นะคะไปที่ www.farangangmo แล้วเลื่อนลงมาตรงนี้เป็น beauty blogger and then you scroll down and thenไม่แน่ใจว่าควรเริ่มต้นตรงไหน and then you click here and then there's gonna be a self-assessment form นะคะมันจะมีแบบตรวจสอบระดับภาษาให้เราลองทำทุกคนสามารถไปให้คะแนนตัวเองแล้วก็ลองดูว่าเราน่าจะเหมาะกับคอร์สไหนมองไม่เห็นนะคะก็จะมีคะแนนการฟังคะแนนการอ่านคะแนนการพูดอะไรต่างๆเราจะได้วางแผนการเรียนของเราได้มากยิ่งขึ้นว่าเราควรจะเริ่มจากคอร์สไหนไปยังไงวางแผนการเรียนยังไงเราเหมาะกับคอร์สในระดับไหนนะคะ Okay I think that should be very much it for today yeah all right I hope that what we have learned together you and me I'm still learning as well and I'm learning so much from you as well I hope that it's useful to you somehow if you like this episode of English Chitchat please leave a like share this with your friends your family so that we can practice listening and interacting in English here to get over our fear of making mistakes and just trying to use English if you would like to follow us on other social media channels we have Facebook YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Line Official. Yeah. All right. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you gained something useful out of this live and gain a little bit more, like 1% more of confidence to use English. This is your safe space where we can practice this together and keep interacting, keep gaining new input and giving new output every single week. See you again next week. Thank you so much for today. And that's it for English Chit Chat today. Have a good night. Bye bye. Bye. Night night.